Hello, everyone. I'm back with another podcast review, and I'm going to review the latest episode of Baddies East. Before I get started with this video, I want you guys to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I want you guys to go to the description box located below this podcast review, and I want you guys to click on the links to follow my social medias. And let's get started with the review. This episode starts off with Suki. Well, first we get like a rundown preview of what took place during last week's episode, and then that's when the episode starts off with the girls, all the women. They're in the club and they're dancing, they're having fun. Suki is wanting to know what's Mariah's issue with her, because people at the club was telling Suki that Mariah had an issue with her and wanted to fight her. And I'm paraphrasing what was said. The women, they're having fun, they're dancing, and they're doing their famous TikTok dance in the club. They're having a really good time. And long and behold, in the midst of everyone having a good time, Suki and Rollie, they make amends with each other. And it's revealed later on in this episode that they actually apologize to each other. We get to the next scene, and in Camilla's house, the girls are sitting at the table and they're reminiscing over the fun night that they had at the club. And it's a bittersweet moment for some of them because some of them are glad that Smiley's gone. Sky refers to Smiley as a funny liar. And Camilla, she's not really interested in talking about Smiley because she believes that that Smiley wastes a lot of people's time. As we all remember, on one of the previous episodes of Baddies East, there was speculation as to whether or not Smiley was faking her illness when she was having a seizure. Some of the women thought that Smiley was faking the seizure and she was faking being sick, and some of the women thought that Smiley was actually sick and they actually showed sympathy for her. The next scene, we get to Natalie's house, and in the living room where all the women are, it's Natalie, E.T., Sapphire, Mariah, and Rollie. And Rollie confirmed that Suki and her, they're good now. There's no more issues between those two. Sapphire, she's a little upset because Suki isn't really talking to her. And I think even Rollie mentioned that Sapphire has a lot of making up to do when it comes to, in regards to Suki and Sapphire's friendship. Rollie mentions that Suki has issues with Mariah because during the fight that was taking place with Natalie and Scotty at that lobster restaurant, Suki said something to Mariah, and Mariah responded to Suki by saying it's giving weird. And when Mariahlynn said that it's giving weird, she was describing how she was feeling towards the fight that was taking place between Natalie and Scotty. And I didn't think that comment was out the way or anything because, like I've mentioned before in one of my previous reviews, Rollie has even mentioned how she's voiced her opinion when she witnessed Natalie and Scotty fighting on Baddies West the last season when Natalie and Scotty got into a fight in front of the trailer. I mean, not the trailer, in front of the party bus. After the fight was over, Rollie pulled Scotty to the side and was expressing how Rollie doesn't think that Natalie is her friend because of how she treats her. And I'm paraphrasing what Rollie said. These were her words. I'm paraphrasing. Mariahlynn and Sapphire begin to have a conversation, and they try to get clarity as to what is the issue between Mariahlynn and Suki. And one thing leads to another, and Sapphire thinks that Mariahlynn is stirring the pot. And Rollie, all of a sudden, she gets upset because Mariahlynn said something to Rollie. I don't remember what Mariahlynn said, but all of a sudden, Mariahlynn says something that gets Rollie upset, and Rollie gets in Mariahlynn's face, and it leads to, an uncomfortable issue because now Natalie and E.T., they're trying to hold Rollie back. It's not a good situation for Mariah because, Rollie's upset. And I didn't think that, whatever Mariahlynn was saying, based on in the moment when Rollie got upset, I don't think that Mariahlynn was really saying anything that warranted for Rollie to get that upset. But I could be wrong. You guys can let me know in the comment section, if you guys think that if Mariahlynn said anything that warranted for Rollie to get that upset. You guys can discuss that in the comment section below this video. Now, what I will say is that the words that Mariahlynn said in her confessional about Rollie were fighting words, but she didn't say any of that to her face. Natalie, Sapphire, Mariahlynn, Rollie, E.T., they're all outside, and all of a sudden, Mariahlynn says that they're all weird. And Rollie's like, who's weird? And that's when Rollie finds where, because Rollie heard her, Rollie tries to find where Mariahlynn is. She did find where Mariahlynn was, and she throws something at Mariahlynn, and it hits Mariahlynn in her back. Mariahlynn tried to like throw like a water bottle at Rollie, but Mariahlynn, she didn't get Rollie. She missed. Like E.T. had better aim than Mariahlynn, because remember on last episode when E.T. threw that bottle of water in Suki's face, and like she had like perfect aim. What other highlights took place during this episode? Rollie wants Mariahlynn out of her house. Well, not out of her house, out of their house, out of house A and put in house B, because there's like two separate houses for the two separate groups. There's the Natalie group, and then there's the Camilla and Sky group. Camilla's group, they're in their vehicle and they're vibing. Both of the groups, they're headed to Chachuca to go water rafting. And next thing you know, before the fight took place between Mariahlynn and Sapphire, everyone's having a good time. Bobby's with the women, he's dancing. Natalie and Scotty, they're on the same water raft and they're making amends. Sapphire and Suki, they get on the same water raft and they're trying to enjoy the time that they're having in Chachuca. And all of a sudden, Suki confronts Mariahlynn from a distance. And Suki starts off by saying, by asking, well, not by asking, she starts off by saying to Mariah, you need to know who your real friends are. And then Mariah's like, so tell me. And then Suki's like, it ain't me, but you need to know who your real friends are. And that was really funny. But next thing you know, Sapphire, she gets, and she interjects herself into the banter that Mariahlynn is having with Suki, because Mariahlynn told Suki that everyone was talking mess about Suki behind her back, and that wasn't true. Well, I'm trying to think of any other scenes from the previous episodes if there was anyone else talking about Suki. I know Rollie did, but that was like after they got into a fight. Besides that, I don't recall anyone else talking mess about Suki behind her back besides Mariahlynn and Rollie. That's about it. So Mariahlynn has a point because Rollie was the one that was talking mess about Suki, but that was after they had a fight. So next thing you know, Sapphire tries to snatch Mariahlynn, and then Mariahlynn does something how can I describe this? It's obvious that Sapphire tried to grab Mariahlynn and throw her in the water, but Mariahlynn had like reflexes and grabbed Sapphire by her hair, and that's when they both fell into the water, and that's when they started fighting in the water. And you could hear Suki calling out Mariahlynn's name, and Suki was the one that told Sapphire not to fight Mariahlynn, but she did it anyway, and I guess that was her way of trying to make up for not sticking up for Suki when she had that altercation with Rollie and E.T. The episode ends, and we get a preview for next episode, and next episode is going to be the season finale of Baddies East, and then we have the reunion. But I don't know, I wonder, are we going to get a promo for the reunion, because the reunion was filmed like not too long ago. I want to say the reunion had to have been filmed like at least 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I wonder, are we going to get like a preview for the reunion at the end of the next episode. But that's all that I have to say regarding this episode. Thanks for tuning in to this review. Make sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also make sure to go to the description box located below this video and follow me on all my social medias. You guys have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.